Welcome back to Modeling Time with me, Brian Banna. In the last episode of building the Ko&G PS2 2-bay hopper, we got the channels put on the side. We got that side and I got that side done. So that's all taken care of. In this episode, we're going to do a little bit of wire bending. And if there's enough time, if the video doesn't run too long, maybe I'll be able to get to the roof walk. If it runs too long with the wire bending, then I'll put the roof walk in the next video. So let me get the camera set up here. Let's get to some wire bending. So I'm set up on my workspace. So the process for this is first thing I can do is I can take my little pin tool, sharpened tip, and I'm going to make the center marks for where the wire will go in. So here, 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 and on the ends here and here. Once that's done, I use my drill bit, a 15 thousandths drill bit. Actually, it's a .0154. Real quick, these are the drill bits I use. I love these drill bits. I get them from Suncoast Tools. They're hard to find on their website, but they're great drill bits. They're expensive. You have to buy them in 10 packs, but they're great drill bits. So I'll use a drill bit. I'll drill through for the wire where I prick the little indentations. After that, I'll use some sprue cutters and I'll cut off the parts I want cut off. And when I'm done with that, I'll just use the knife and clean up the areas. So let me go ahead and do that. I can't really do it on camera because I gotta put my optivisors on and get close. I can't see anything anymore. So I need magnifiers with magnifiers on them. And I'll get in there and do all that work. And then we'll get back and use some 15 thousandths wire to make these parts. Now, if you were making a RPM model or a super detailed model, you wouldn't want to use 15 thousandths wire for these. You'd probably want to use either 10 thousandths or maybe even 12 thousandths would be better. But I want this area to blend in with the rest of the model, not being an RPM show model. And this wire works out really well. And if you look on this car, I think you'll agree that that doesn't look too bad. So let me go ahead and get this work done, and then I'll show you how I do my wire bending. So it's time to bend some wire. I got my little piece of 15 thousandths wire. I've got the holes drilled here, 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 and here. Now, real quick, zoom in a little bit here. You'll notice this hole here is towards the inside. So when you make these two pieces of wire, you're going to put this one in first, locate it where you want it, how far you want it to stick out, and trim it on the back. And then you're going to do this piece of wire. Because this hole is far enough back, these two collide on the inside of this post. But this hole is far enough back that you'll have a little bit in there and then you can CA it, or put some CA and hold it in place. So I just wanted to go over that a little bit. So let me real quickly put a piece of tape down on there so I know where I'm working and staying on focus with the camera. There we go. Okay. So some of the tools that I use, I've got these flat nose pliers, got at Ace Hardware about 400 years ago. Got my side cutters, Xeron, a diamond file, medium grit, and tweezers. So where did I put that piece of, there we go. All right, so first thing I do, take the diamond file and just rough up the ends and take off anything that might be make it not so it won't go in the hole, a burr or something like that. Take my pliers, put it in from one side to the other. Simply make a 90-degree bend. Stick it in there like that in the end and just push down. And now I want to make sure it's 90 degrees. And that looks pretty good there. Alright, so now we'll work with this top one first. Stick that in there. And get my Sharpie out. Hold that right over the hole. And put a mark right there. Now what I'm doing is I'm looking at where that mark is, the shape of that mark in relation to the hole. It's not on center of the mark, it's slightly, there's the whole center, so it's slightly to the right, or this side of the mark, the center of the mark. So, I'll remember where that's at, pull that out. This is the hard part, is getting this straight, this bend straight with the other bend. Right about there. Alright, so it's not straight with that bend, but we'll fix that. Just want to make sure we get it. Make sure we get it 90 degrees. Okay. So now I'm going to hold this bend in. I'm going to look down it, and I'm going to look down it this way. This leg comes out a little at an angle. What I want it to do is I want it to line up with this gap in the plier jaws. So I'll just take that and just start rotating it. And there we go. It's lined up. So now if I lay this flat, it lays flat on the tape. So now I can zing that somewhere. I need to get pliers that actually hold stuff. These non-hobby pliers, like these Revlon or whatever pliers, or pliers of tweezers, they tend to cause parts to fling. So what I'm going to do now is just rough up the surface a little, and I do this now so that I don't have to do it later. Clean up any burrs on the ends where I just cut it. And that way you got a rough surface for CA to attach to it. Alright, so now that's a little out in, so I want to make sure these are at a good 90-degree angle. I might have to do a little bit of tweaking after I see how this fits. Now when I look down the top of the car, I don't want to see any bowing action. I want to see it very straight. And that is about as straight as it's going to be. So there's one. Saw exactly how I did it all on camera there. So I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing for this one and this one. Now, what I do is I look down to cut the length right, is I look down the eave of the car, make sure it's lined up, push it in just a little bit, and then trim it flush with the back. There's a little bit sticking out in the back, I'll file that off with the diamond file, and it should be even. I have to do the same thing for the one that's on the inside here. So like I said, I'll get this one done and this one done, and we'll come back and do, and then I'll get the other side done, and then I'll come back and show you how I make rope pulls. Okay, so I have the wire done on the ends. So you can see that. That went pretty quickly. Now it's time to do the rope pulls. There's 4 of them, one on each corner. That's what I call them. I think that's what they're called. So it's the little detail right there. So what do I need for that? So I've got my vise with a .059 drill bit in it. I've got a candle, got some matches, and I've cut some lengths of brass wire. So let's go ahead and get these done. Let me do one. Okay, so we want to anneal these so it makes them easier to bend and they won't have memory spring back. So just take the wire, put it in the flame, and that's it. Take a piece of wire, put it in the flame, and that's it. Take a piece of wire, put it in the flame, and that's it. And take another piece of wire, put it in the flame. Now the longer you leave it in the flame, the softer it's going to get. And that's it. That's all you need for that. Move that candle out of the way. Dribbles wax all over everything. Now we need the vise with the drill bit in it. So, wax all over my thumb there. So we're going to put that like that up against the drill bit. Take the plier, or the tweezers, and we're going to just and there's a rope pull. So we'll go ahead and do that for the other 3. Start with the tweezers wide. Bring it in. Keep tension on it so it doesn't, so you don't get a gap back here. There's another rope pull. Get another piece of wire. There's another rope pull and one more. And there's another rope pull. So I got 4 all done. There we go. Now for the car, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my poker right in the middle of this detail where it meets the frame or the sill. Just going to poke a hole, or make another on this side. At an angle and then straight up. Now I'm going to cut that detail off. Get my hole started there. My hole started there. Take my 15 thousandths drill bit. Try to make it as perpendicular to the car as possible. And I drill all the way through. That's done. Now I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to clean up that at where the detail was. There we go. Clean the hole out. And now we'll take a rope pull, one of our pieces of bent wire here, I'm going to stick it right into those holes. And we're going to push it down right to where the curvature starts. So it looks like that. Then on the top, since this wire is nice and soft, I have a few of these sprue nippers. Some of them I use for cutting brass wire or phosphor bronze wire. But I can come into the top here. Cut that off to where I want it. I can't get to the inside one, so what I do, pull that out. I'll hold it in some pliers like that. I'll take these, let's see, take these sprue nippers, excuse me, and I'll line it up with the other side that I've already cut, nip it off, file it down a little bit, get any burrs off of there, like that, get it back out, and stick it right back in. Push it up so they just come out the top. Take a flat blade screwdriver and just press it down even. And there's our rope pull. Now we can CA it in place. So I'll go ahead and get the other three done, and come back and show you the whole thing. So at least here you saw exactly how I do it from start to finish. You know, anneal the brass wire, bend it, drill the holes, clean up the detail, put the rope pull in, cut the tops off, take it out, cut the other side off, put it back in, and put it down to the top, and it fills a hole in the top, and now I can CA it. And that takes care of the rope pulls. So you can see one there, 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 and there. So those are all glued in and ready to go. So the last thing to do for this video is just to install the brake wheel, which is easy enough to do. Take an 0469 drill bit, or 047, basically just drill that out. Not much to drill out there. A nip off the little tail on the end of this brake wheel. Cut it flush, or clean it up on the back. Put some medium CA in the hole. Oops, sorry about that, not on camera there. And put the brake wheel on. It's a Ko&G brake wheel, and there you have it. So that takes care of the brake wheel. So now we're almost done. The only thing left to do is the roof walks and to rebuild the bolsters so I can put Kato trucks on it. Well, I think the car is coming along nicely. There was one more thing I have to do that I didn't mention in the previous segment, and that is just to put the airline on the car that goes from underneath the sill from here to here. Just like what you see on this car here. So I'll show you the tool I made to bend that and get that on. And then we just have the roof walk and the trucks to do. So in the next video, we'll be finishing this model up. Well, I thank you for watching, and I'm hoping, or I hope that you're getting some good entertainment out of this and some fun. And maybe some ideas to do some of the stuff yourself. So we'll see you in the next video.